Good morning, everyone. We're back here talking about chickens, and I just wanted to make a quick video on the very basics you need to know to get started, because someone had asked. What's the absolute minimum I should know? What are some fun facts about chickens? So I thought, let's get into that. I promise it will not take long. Nice, short, and sweet. So one of the good reasons to raise chickens is the eggs they produce, and honestly, that is going to be the reason most people have chickens. Look over here at these guys. So the reason most people will have chickens, that's Caramel. I love Caramel. But the reason people are going to have chickens, a lot of it is going to be for the eggs. Some people may be for meat, definitely for the eggs. So I'm just going to come in here. You might have some people raising them for meat. You might want to raise them for meat. That's okay too. But most people are going to be in it for the eggs. Chickens also make great pets. They're really good pets. And they're really good at fertilizing your yard. It's the pooping. And they are a natural pest control. Okay? So they'll eat your bugs. They're the reason we don't have very many wood ticks in our yard. We're in an area in the summer where you get lots of wood ticks. We don't because of the chickens. There's a horse right behind me. So we got a couple of other chickens over here. Anyway, so some fun chicken facts. Did you know that chickens can make over 30 different types of chicken sounds? They can cheep, like the baby chickens over in the corner. You can hear them. Cheep, cheep. Cheep, cheep, cheep. So they can cheep when they're little. But they also can crow, they can growl, they can purr, they can cluck. Over 30 different sounds they make. With hens, it takes 25 hours for an egg to be produced. So if your chicken skips a day of laying, it's primarily because, guess what? It hasn't been 25 hours. Hi, sweetie. Grouching at me. You're fine. There are more chickens on the earth than there are humans. That's actually not really a surprise. Not to me, anyway. Cat. Baby goat. Yes, I know, Arwen. So, another fun fact, chickens can actually recognize up to 100 faces. That includes both chickens and humans. So if you think your chickens don't know who you are, they do. Our chickens know the difference between Tristan and I. Tristan brings the food. That's very exciting for them. Hi. So they know the difference. And chickens lay different amounts of eggs depending on the type of hen. What, Lily? So some hens like Leghorns will lay up to 300 eggs a year. An Orpington might only lay 180. A Silkie might only lay 100. So it totally depends on the breed of hen. These Sussexes here, about 200. So if you're just getting started in chickens, you might want to think about a breed that fits your purposes. If you're just starting out and you really don't know much about chickens, there are 4 breeds I would recommend if you're interested in egg production. So the first one is an Orpington. Let's see if I can find my Orpington hen. Thank you, Lily. Orpingtons are sweet. They produce about 180 eggs a year, up to 200 in some cases. This is our Orpington Lime. Beautiful eggs. She's a beautiful girl, produces many good eggs. That's Buddy. It's a goat yelling at me. So Orpingtons are friendly, easy to care for, really winter hardy. So if you live in an area like we are where it's cold, then they're really good. They can tolerate just about anything as long as they can get out of the wind. And they're kind of a medium-sized breed. They weigh up to 8 pounds. So in the event that you did want to have a dual-purpose breed, they could also be used for meat. Who's squawking? It's Dale. It's Dale. You might also want to consider a Rhode Island Red. I don't actually have any right now, But Rhode Island Reds are really good layers. They produce medium-sized eggs, up to 250 of them in a year. That's a pretty good layer. They're also easy to care for, and if you have to confine your chickens so you can't have them roaming like we do, yes, little ones. Yes, I know. But if you have to contain them, Rhode Island Reds do tolerate confinement pretty well. Same with Plymouth Rocks. If you have a Plymouth Rock, around 200 eggs a year, they're really smart for a chicken. They're friendly, they're funny, and they're really easy to keep contained if you need to. This is silky. I would also recommend Leghorns. I do have Leghorns. Where the heck are my Leghorns? I don't know. Oh, here's one. I'll go show you. So I do have 3 Leghorns. There's one. But I do have 3 Leghorns. Leghorns are the cream of the crop when it comes to laying eggs. Up to 300 eggs a year you're going to get. Cheap, cheap, cheap. I know. You're fine. So Leghorns are where it's at for laying eggs. They aren't super friendly. So if you're looking for something that's a pet, you might want to go with an Orpington. Just because. So they're also small, so they're not a good dual-purpose breed. You also might want to do Sussex. Where the heck did my Sussexes go? You're fine. There's water in the other waterer, you dang chicken. It's cold. Okay, my Sussexes are over in this corner. I have a couple of Coronation Sussex. They also have light Sussex. They have speckled Sussex. They have quite a few. That's not a Sussex. The white ones are Sussexes here. So Sussex are a really good dual-purpose breed as well. They're very much like Orpingtons. So if you're getting chickens for eggs, you seriously might want to consider one of those breeds. If you're getting chickens for meat only, you might want to go with Cornish. So when you are looking to buy your chickens, you want to make sure they're healthy. You don't want them sick. Okay? So these guys are really healthy. I can hear chirping through the window. There's chickens in the barn. Through the window. So, signs of a healthy chicken. That's Buddy. He's perfectly healthy. So you want bright, clear eyes. You want a posture that's not hunched over. Now, if it is chilly, so it's kind of chilly right now. So if you have a chicken that's kind of chilly and so is kind of tucked in. Thank you. So Ash here is kind of tucked in because he's a little chilled. He's fine. But so if it's a little chilly, they might be a little bit hunched over. You might have... Yeah, you're good. But they shouldn't stay hunched over if they're moving around, walking around. They shouldn't walk around hunched. So they should move around a lot. They should have bright, clear eyes. They shouldn't be missing a... Thank you. They should not be missing a bunch of feathers. So now he's molting a little bit, so he's missing some feathers at the back. So if they're molting, like Sam's a better example. You can really see how he's molted on his butt there. So if they've molted, they might be missing some feathers. Outside of molting, they should not be missing feathers. Okay? Outside of molting, they should not be missing feathers. Unless it's a hen and she's missing a few back feathers, that might be from a rooster who's bred her a little too much, but it still shouldn't be horrific. Okay, we have quite a few roosters, and our hens have pretty clean backs. Okay, they're really not horrific. So you want bright eyes. That goes for adults or little ones. Little ones should never be missing feathers, ever. They simply should not be, because little ones haven't molted yet. So if they're missing a bunch of feathers, you're definitely going to want to skip on those chicks. You also want beaks that are not crossed. And when I mean crossed, they look like scissors. They sometimes call it a scissor beak. You don't want that. Not if you're just getting started. You seriously don't want that if you're getting started, because it's more than you probably want to deal with at the beginning. I deal with scissor beaks. I'll adopt them. I'll take them in. That's not a big deal to me, but I've been doing this a while now. If you're just starting out, skip the scissor beak. It's not worth the stress. You also want straight legs. Don't get a chick with twisted, curled legs. Can that be fixed if they're babies? Yeah, a lot of times. Should you take that on when you're just getting started? No. Leave that to people who've been in chickens longer. All right? So, oh, the hen's going at it. Oh, Buddy found bugs. Of course you did. So, you do want to get nice, healthy birds. When you bring a new bird home, do not immediately throw it into your flock. You want to quarantine your birds. 30 days is what I generally tell people. You want to quarantine for 30 days. Keep them separate from your flock until you see if they're sick. Because, well, it's tragic if you bring a new chicken home and they fall over dead. That's sad. But it's even worse if you introduce that chicken to your flock and now your whole flock is sick. That's horrible. So 30-day quarantine. When chickens are meeting each other for the first time, you're going to have to use best judgment when it comes to whether or not you should just put them all together. I could just chase everybody out of the barn and then put the new guys in the barn and chase everyone back into the barn. My flock's full of idiots. They don't even notice that there's new chickens if I do it that way. Your flock may be smarter than mine. So introduce them carefully. You don't want huge fights. There will be some pecking order business happening. Hopefully not huge fights. So, looking after your flock. Real quick, food and water. Yes, fresh food, fresh water every day. Okay, every single day. Don't not feed them. Though if you're free ranging, sometimes you can get away with not feeding them. These guys are all out here because they're mostly eating bugs, grass, grain. Also, I chucked a bunch of grain out here so that they would be out here because I want them to eat the bugs that are out here. I want them to. Hi, Mary. That's Mary. That's our chicken, Mary. She's leaving. That is Mary. So, cleaning up after your chickens. You want to keep your coop clean. You want to keep yourself clean. So, if you've been to another farm, you definitely want to make sure your boots are clean. Make sure you've washed your clothes. You don't know what that farm has. You do not want to be in a position where you bring home something to your flock that was healthy, now everyone's dying. That's not fun. Keep your coop dry. Absolutely keep your coop dry. Dampness breeds illness. Keep your coop clean and dry. Dry is the most important. Moisture in the coop can cause bacteria to build up, and in the winter it can bring on disease and death quickly. Cold and dry is better than warm and moist, as my vet likes to say. So, keep everyone dry. You also want to have adequate ventilation. Okay, we've talked about that before. You want a lot of vents. So we have open windows. We have vents. You want that because you don't want the ammonia to build up. So you want to be able to bring in fresh air. You don't want a draft, so you don't want your chickens to be in the wind, but you want them to be well ventilated, dry, safe. So wherever you have your chickens, make sure predators can't get to them. That's one of the reasons for this wire. The other one is to try and keep the goats in. The chickens, we don't care if they come out. They're allowed to come out. Anyway, that's about it for basic chicken care. So it's not hard to get started. Pick breeds that are easy so that you don't get overwhelmed and don't get more chickens than you think you can take care of. Other than that, chickens are fun, chickens are great, and they provide eggs for you. So that's all for today. See you next time.